Y'all ever feel down, like perpetual sense of hopelessness? Talking too quiet for anyone to hear, having your head down for most of the day. Actually, let me tell you something. Throughout my school years, basically, I was I had social anxiety. Like, it wasn't even, I thought it was shy at first, but it was more than shyness. I couldn't speak to anybody. What you were describing, like actually having your head down every single day and talking quietly and people not being able to hear you, it was like a nightmare. Every day, you know, when teachers take attendance and they're like, Enna Alouette, and you have to kind of say here or present. Like, my voice, I would be so anxious with just like the morning attendance call that, you know, my voice will automatically reduce to like a volume of like -10 decibels, like here, and the teacher would be like, Enna Alouette, I'll be like, here, Enna, are you here? I'll be like, oh, so I'll raise my hand and wave it, and she's like, yeah, please respond when I call your name. And I was like, I did. I really wish that, I don't know, I wish teachers were able to kind of tell the difference between people who are like actually not paying attention and people who kind of aren't suffering from some sort of anxiety in school. So many teachers have like called me up in front of the class because my speaking wasn't like projected enough, and they would kind of go like, please speak up, we can't hear you, and that just makes it even worse. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say it's the teacher's fault. It's just that they weren't kind of educated on that aspect. It's not anybody's fault. I just wish that we did get more education on this sort of stuff. I wouldn't say they are bullies. They're just saying what comes to mind, like, oh, I can't hear her, so I'm gonna ask her to speak up. But they don't really know that we don't speak up because we're really nervous. Like, it's nervousness to the point where we can't speak up. There's so many times where I would have to kind of read or present in front of the class, and I would fail. I would fail the oral communication mark, where you have to like participate and speak and present in front of class. Yeah, and because nobody could hear me, like the teacher can't really evaluate my presentation well. There were a couple teachers, like 1 or 2 throughout my high school years, where I think they did kind of understand that I was kind of going through some social anxiety thing. And when they realized that, they would ask me to present just to them after school, and that helped so much. And I remember those teachers. Like, those teachers were probably realizing like, oh, this student is struggling with something, so I think I should kind of make exceptions. Me getting over social anxiety totally wasn't easy. The thing is that I didn't even plan on getting over it. I was just living my life. I would say the person who helped me the most is my father. My father realized for me at a very young age that I had always suffered from social anxiety. Like, ever since I was a kid in preschool, if I knew I had to present something, the night before I would cry because I would beg my mom to like make me stay home. And my dad didn't really live with us that often, but even though he was so far away from us, he kind of understand the few times that he would come back and visit, and he'd be like, oh, why are you walking alone every time at school? And I'll be like, oh, you know. And when I finally got to live with my father for a few years, he really helped me. Like, he's not the type of father to be like, oh, Enna, don't worry, take your time. My father's like, no, you have to go. You have to go to the barber by yourself, and you need to tell them what type of haircut you want, and you're gonna do it all by yourself. And you know, at that age, I wasn't like a kid. I was already like a full grown ass, well, I was like a teenager, but you know, very capable of doing things by myself. It was very hard. Sometimes I would feel so pressured by him. I would like argue. We would have the biggest fights. I would be like, stop, you know, like, it's very difficult. Like, you need to stop pressuring me because you're kind of making my anxiety worse. It's like, I know, but I don't know what, I'm not a professional, but I really just want you to, you know, get better. Like, you can do it. I believe in you. And you know, we are always arguing. We argued so much. Like, you don't even know. The arguments were so intense. Sometimes we would throw things. But at the end of the day, my dad is always telling me, you know, he would be super angry because, you know, he's just frustrated. But he would tell me afterwards, like, you know, I'm only angry because I want you to live a life that you can fulfill, you can fully live, you know? Like, I don't want you to be nervous all your life. You don't have to be nervous. Like, I will help you. And you know, when I think about those times, I really cry because, like, he really, really did help me. I know maybe perhaps this type of method wouldn't work for everybody, but honestly, if you have the willpower to kind of put yourself out there, it's gonna be so uncomfortable. I swear, you're gonna break down like so many times. But hopefully, towards the end, after all that, you can kind of like grow from it. Cause you know, I still have a little bit of anxiety, but you know, now I'm streaming now, so I never thought that I would be like streaming. And now when I do presentations, if I have to, I mean, yeah, I can at least do it to like I don't speak like, okay, everybody, here is my PowerPoint present. No, I'm not at that level. But you know, at least the teachers can hear me if I were to do a presentation now. Yeah, so thanks, Dad. You really helped me. I always tell people that my biggest lifesaver is my dad, because he really did believe in me in his own funny, special way. Yeah, it was a long ride. It was a tough growth, and it didn't happen like in 1 year. It happened like so many years. It was agonizing. And also, like, talking to people over the internet helped too. Yeah, and it's good practice because you don't really get to see them face to face, so it's less anxiety. To that person who, you know, I don't know if you were joking or not, but in case you're not, I know your head is probably hanging down low these days, but there's gonna be one day where your head's gonna be held up high. So once that happens, you're gonna feel great. And I believe in you. You can do it too. I swear, I'm like the biggest bitch pussy out there. So if I can do it, you can do it too.
So Anna, who's your favorite superhero?
My dad.
Oh,
I don't like that answer.
No, I like that. That's cute. That's emotional development.
Yeah.
And it's normally shit talking to dad. Let's go.
My dad who left me 20 years ago.
Oh, here we go again. Okay, Millie, who's your favorite superhero?